I'm Linda. I'm 58 years old. I raised my daughter Emma alone after her father left us when she was 3. I worked 2 jobs most of her childhood. I missed school plays because I was cleaning offices at night. I skipped meals so she could have new shoes. Every penny I earned went toward giving her a better life than I had. When Emma got into college, I was so proud I cried for a week. She studied business. She got scholarships, but they didn't cover everything. I took out loans. I emptied my small savings account. I told her not to worry about money. I told her to focus on her dreams. After she graduated, Emma moved to another state for work. She called less and less. I understood. She was building her career. She was 26 now, independent, successful. I was happy for her, even though I missed her terribly. Then 6 months ago, she called and said she wanted to plan a big birthday party for me. My 60th was coming up. She said she wanted to celebrate everything I'd done for her. She said she'd handle everything. She sounded so excited. I felt like maybe our relationship was healing. Emma came home 2 weeks before the party. She stayed at my small apartment. She seemed different, colder. She spent hours on her laptop. She made phone calls in the other room. When I asked what she was planning, she smiled and said it was a surprise. She started asking strange questions. Mom, do you remember when I was 15 and got sick? Do you still have paperwork from when I was in high school? What happened to Grandma's house after she died? I answered honestly. I always did, but something felt wrong. The way she looked at me, like she was studying me, like I was a stranger. 3 days before the party, Emma asked to see my financial records. She said she wanted to help me organize my retirement planning. I thought it was sweet. I showed her everything. My bank statements, my loan documents, my credit card bills. I had nothing to hide. She spent an entire day going through papers in my bedroom. When I brought her tea, she quickly closed a folder. Just sorting things, Mom, she said. But her voice was cold. The night before the party, I couldn't sleep. I heard Emma on the phone in the living room. I stood in the hallway and listened. Yes, I have everything, she whispered. Tomorrow, in front of everyone. She won't be able to lie her way out of this. My blood went cold. The party was at a community center. Emma had invited everyone. My coworkers, my neighbors, my church friends, even people I barely knew. There were maybe 60 people there. Balloons, a cake, a microphone set up in the corner. I felt sick. Something terrible was coming. I could feel it. Emma stood up with the microphone. Everyone got quiet. Thank you all for coming to celebrate my mom, she said. Her voice was too calm, too rehearsed. I want to tell you all about the woman who raised me. I smiled nervously. People clapped. Then Emma said, I also want to introduce someone special. This is Richard Brennan. He's a family attorney, and he's here because my mother has been lying to me my entire life. The room went silent. My heart stopped. People stared at me. A man in a suit stepped forward holding a briefcase. Emma clicked a remote. A projector screen dropped down. Documents appeared on it. Bank statements, legal papers. My hand started shaking. My whole life. My mom told me we were poor, Emma said. Her voice was breaking now. She told me she worked 2 jobs just to feed us. She told me she sacrificed everything so I could go to college. She turned to look at me. Her eyes were full of tears, but they weren't sad tears. They were angry. That was a lie, she said. When I was 15, my grandmother died. She left everything to my mom. A house worth $300,000. Life insurance worth another $200,000. My mom sold the house. She took the money, and she hid it from me. The room erupted in whispers. I tried to stand. My legs wouldn't work. Emma continued. While I ate ramen in college, while I worked 3 part-time jobs, while I took out $50,000 in student loans, my mother had $500,000 sitting in a private account. The lawyer stepped forward. I've verified all of this, he said. His voice was professional but harsh. Mrs. Patterson had significant assets throughout her daughter's entire education. Assets she deliberately concealed. People were staring at me like I was a monster. My friend Janet got up and walked out. Others followed. I found my voice. Emma, please. Let me explain. Explain what? She shouted. Explain why you let me struggle. Explain why you cried and told me you were skipping meals when you had thousands of dollars in the bank. Explain why I graduated with crushing debt while you lived like a martyr. The lawyer pulled out more papers. Your mother also received disability payments for you that she never disclosed. Payments meant for your care that went into her personal account. I stood up. My whole body was shaking. That money was mine, I said. Your grandmother left it to me. Not you. It was my inheritance. And you used my suffering to make yourself look like a hero, Emma said. She was crying now. Real, painful sobs. You let me worship you. You let me feel guilty for every dollar I cost you. And it was all a lie. My neighbor stood up. Linda, is this true? I looked around the room. Every face was filled with disgust, judgment, hatred. I ran. I grabbed my purse and ran out of the community center. I could hear Emma crying behind me. I could hear people shouting, but I kept running. I drove home shaking so hard I almost crashed twice. When I got to my apartment, I found an envelope on my kitchen table. Emma's handwriting. Inside was a letter. Mom, I've spent 6 months investigating this. I hired Richard because I needed to know the truth. I found bank statements in your closet. I talked to Grandma's lawyer. I got copies of everything. 4 weeks, I tried to convince myself there was an explanation. Maybe you were saving it for me. Maybe you were protecting it for my future. But there was no other account. No trust fund. No plan to give it to me. You just kept it. You spent it on yourself. New furniture. Vacations you told me were paid for by friends. A car you said was a gift. All lies. I will never forgive you for letting me struggle. But worse than that, I'll never forgive you for making me feel like a burden. Every time I thanked you for your sacrifice, you smiled and accepted it. That's not love. That's cruelty. I've paid off my loans with my own money. I don't want anything from you now. I just wanted everyone to know who you really are. Don't contact me. We're done. Emma. I sat on my kitchen floor and cried. But not because I felt guilty. Because I'd been caught. It's been 3 months. Emma hasn't answered a single call. My friends don't speak to me. I had to leave my church. People whisper when they see me at the grocery store. Last week, I saw Emma's engagement announcement on Facebook. She'd blocked me, but a mutual acquaintance shared it. She looked happy, radiant, free. She'd written, marrying my best friend. Thank you to everyone who supported me through the hardest year of my life. Especially grateful to those who taught me that real love doesn't come with conditions, manipulation, or lies. I'm finally free. I wanted to comment, to explain, to apologize, but I couldn't, because she was right. I look at my bank statements now. The money's almost gone, spent on things I can't even remember, and I have nothing left. No daughter, no friends, no one. I kept the money, but Emma kept her dignity, and I finally understand which one matters more. Too late.